This first question says, I don't know how to set boundaries. Please help me. Okay, I would like to start with you that the problem is not with the setting boundaries. The problem is how to sustain the boundaries. Setting boundaries is easy. You can just say, okay, I will never accept this. For example, I will never accept a guy that talks to me rudely or that does not respect me. It's easy to do that. But the issue now comes when you finally meet that guy and he begins to talk to you rudely. And based on what you have said, is that you will not accept it, but you begin to find yourself tolerating that person, you begin to endure with him, and you continue until you get to a point where you are so choked and you begin to hate yourself and feel bad about the fact that you could not stick with your boundary. So, what we can see here now is that the problem is with sustaining the boundary. Many times I found out that when this situation happens, it is because as a person, you do not rate yourself or you do not respect yourself. It is either number one, you think you are not worthy of a good partner, or number two, you think you are worthy of a good partner, but you don't really have something to offer to that person that will match up their level. So, and when these two mindsets are deep seated within your heart, you'll be able to manage when you have something that you said you don't want. When something you say you don't want with your mouth, when it begins to play out, you begin to manage it. So to solve that, what you need to do is you need to settle down with yourself and get yourself to a point of conviction where you truly believe that you are worthy of a good partner, that you can get a good partner, and that you have something to offer to that person. Because if that is not settled, if you don't really believe that, you will continually say you will do things, or you continually say you will not take things, and you end up taking it. And the thing is that what you are convinced of in your heart, it shows. It shows even to the other person. Your boundary is only effective when you can say, if this thing is happening, this thing that I don't want, if it's happening, I am willing to let the relationship go. If you are at that point, the other person knows that you can risk letting them go. And if you cannot risk letting them go because you can manage, because really you can still get to do with that substandard, the other person knows as well. And it will not push them to rise up to that standard that you are saying with your mouth that you want. So getting to that point of conviction, it both helps you and help the other person. It helps you because number one, you are not going to take what is below what the standard you have set. But number two, it will also force that person to level up because they know that you are standing your ground and you can let them go. So before you try to increase your standard, because before you try to set more laws and more rules for yourself and increase the boundaries you have, take time out by yourself and bring up facts. Try to make yourself believe that you are truly worthy. It's not something that's going to happen all of a sudden. Your mind will not just change. But at intervals, you continue to call yourself to order and remind yourself that you are worthy of something good and that you have something good to offer to that person. You might even need to take out a list and write down the things you are offering. Write down the good things you are contributing to the relationship just to convince yourself that you are truly worthy of these things. Not that you are just someone that's trying to take advantage of the situation, but you have something to offer. Once you do all of this, you are changing your convictions. And it's from that point of conviction that you'll be able to act out your boundaries. Don't forget that your boundary is only as strong as your willingness to risk letting them go. If you cannot risk letting them go, your boundary cannot stand. So, a very strong boundary is, if this thing exists, I'm going to let them go. And I'm going to embrace just being with myself. Another thing, okay, I'll say this in conclusion now. Another thing that will help you is that you have to understand as a person that being alone is better than being with a toxic partner. Many people that cannot set boundaries is because somehow they believe that they are frustrated being alone. So it is better they manage this person that's not so good because half bread is better than none. But in this case of relationship, a toxic partner is not better than none. Because if you had 5% happiness on your just when you are on your own and you bring in that toxic person, they are not going to add just extra 5%. Okay, because sometimes you say I'm looking for 100%, but at least if I got 5%, it's still good. But a toxic partner is not adding 5%. They're even going to take away 15% from the 5 you already have. So you be living with minus 10 happiness. Your life will be sad, your life will be frustrated. So being alone is even better than being with a toxic partner. These are the things you need to convince yourself of, that you are better off being alone. That will now make you that will now put you in a situation where you can risk letting them go, which will now strengthen your boundaries. I hope it's not too complex, but the work is not about them, it's about you. Like, settle this within yourself, and your boundaries will be very strong, and it will ultimately increase the strength of your relationships moving forward.